Thank you for tuning in to DBYT Podcast. Today we have Aaliyah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. So y'all might have seen her if y'all be watching consistently on Polishing Perfection and Handling Fear. Y'all go check those out. They will be above. But today we want to get into a little bit something different. We want to hop into colorism and its impact on the Black community because it's a problem, and we gotta find a way to build on that. Solve the problem, if you will. So, but before we get into it, y'all know that we've been doing weekly giveaways, and this week we're giving away.
We are giving away this super nice self-care body scrub assorted kit for anybody who wants to join the giveaway. We've got some really good goodies in there. They smell really good, perfect for exfoliating your skin, removing all that dead skin and dirt and all that good stuff, leave you refreshed and smelling good. So I hope you guys join the giveaway. Be on the lookout for the rules.
Yes, and it only lasts a week. Now I will say a secret word in this video, but you have to be here to get the secret word. Okay.
And you have to pay attention because I don't even know the secret word.
Exactly.
So you have to pay attention.
Exactly. It should be abundantly clear. Abundantly clear. In abundance. Okay. So. Okay, we diving in to defining colorism. Yes, and its roots. So, explain what colorism is and its historical roots in both global, as you know it, and in the African American community.
Well, colorism to me, it means judging one by the shade of their color.
Okay.
Whether that person can get better opportunities or that person gets showered more or that person just gets a higher rating over the other person solely based off of the shade of whatever their skin tone is.
Okay.
Where it kind of starts historically from what I know, I feel like every culture has their own version of it. Just because I know that a lot of different cultures that have the hierarchy and they come from royalty and they use colors and different shades of their skin to kind of rank their cultures as well. And then I know specifically in our culture, it kind of roots back from slavery and the things that we've been through as far as you got the house slave and the field,
Okay.
little stuff like that. And then we saw that the house slave got treated better than the ones that were in the field. And I feel like that carried on. That trauma became what we know as the light skins versus the dark skins. And then, it kind of became a battle in our own community. So that's what it means to me and where I feel like it kind of stemmed from.
Yeah. Okay. I do want to touch on, of course, we're both Black women. So I feel like I'm glad that you touched on the global because y'all important too. But as everybody knows, like, she couldn't speak on my experience. I couldn't speak on her experience. So it's good to have that, what would you call it?
In the corporate world, we call it diversity and inclusion.
Thank you. So
that's what we're going to call it here because we is professional. We are diverse.
Representation.
Representation. We represent it all.
Yeah.
All shades, all experiences are welcome. Especially me being in a nail tech, and my experiences mainly come from trying to get into a salon that's totally a whole different race, different shades. If you know, you know. So, yeah.
And she definitely spoke on that experience in Polishing Perfection. Y'all go watch that. Again, it's up there. Okay, so the only thing that I would say in regards to it is more so like, I think that when we did, or our people had slave masters, they really did some psychological warfare.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how you have different types of abuse? All right. So in that, I feel like you can't or you shouldn't rank the abuse, because that's when our people start to separate. And that's from my point of view, at least, because like common belief, house slaves got treated better.
Yeah.
We also got raped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we still had to do things against our will, just like y'all did too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they tried to make it seem like, well, at least you have this, at least you have that, and it got into people's mind and made the separation a little bit deeper than us staying a unit. Because at the we did not choose our skin color.
No.
It doesn't matter if you came from the darkest of dark, the lightest of lights. We did not choose that. So,
and then everyone knows black people can give birth to all shades
because we have the Eve gene.
Because we can.
Yeah,
we're gold.
We literally can give any texture hair, any eye color, any everything. Everything. I mean, it's not like you can't see two Chinese or Asian people giving birth to a black person. I haven't seen it. I mean, if you have, let me know. I don't know, but I ain't seen it. I have seen two black people create a white child or a white appearing child, if you will. So I've seen that. Okay, so we are now discussing how slavery contributed to the bias of, the favoritism of light skin. So in that, like you said, I do agree that in today's world that we have been so conditioned throughout the generations, like even when I think 400 years a slave.
Oh yeah, it was a domino effect.
Bro, you know how long 400 years
That's
is?
a long ass time.
My great-grandmother, actually, my great-great-grandmother was born in the 1900s as well. So that's already 4 generations, if I'm counting correctly. Great-great-great-grandma, my mom. That's 5 generations in a set of 100 years.
So if there's a set of 100 years and you got 4, you're talking about 15 or more generations.
Exactly.
Roughly.
Depending on how early.
Depending on how early.
Also, with medicine and everything, it has gotten better for our lifespan.
But back then, usually it was once that menstrual cycle came, you were a woman.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, let's talk on that. Let's speak on that. Let's expand on that if we can.
So, yeah, I definitely think it was a domino effect. It definitely did have a psychological effect. I forget the name of the book, but I know Willie Lynch wrote it. And it was something about breaking down the black man and the black woman.
Okay.
To psychologically break them down. That's how they got into picking the strongest black man and breaking him down first. Because everybody's like, well, if he's the strongest and we break him down,
then all of them should be.
Then everybody else is going to follow suit.
Oh, wow.
And so it just became, I do think it just became a domino effect. And then I think, I forget the name of them people that you call them, that they are one of them. You know, they one of them.
Okay.
They're black. They know they black, but they're one of them.
Like, not impersonate, but like, is that the route you going?
Not impersonate, but kind of on the same, like they think the same way. Like they're black, you're black, but they think the same way as the opposite. But I forget it's.
I know it. Hold on. Pause.
Cause I know it's something.
You're okay. Like whitewash? Is that
yeah.
Kinda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Along those lines. Yeah.
What's the words? Come on. Come on, Moon.
Right.
Shower us.
I don't know. But I do feel like it's kind of like a kid, for example.
Okay.
Or a puppy, a baby. Anything that's small and never knew nothing in the world.
Okay. Slim pure.
And then you got something that...
Slate.
Yep, a clean slate. Clean slate. And then you got a person that is conditioned to these traditions.
Okay.
And then that person then teaches the kid.
Right.
Or the baby or whatever it is.
Okay.
And now that baby or entity is growing and conditioned the same way that person was. Well, if this person got your kids, our kids, all the kids, and they're conditioning them to think this shade is treated better, or
right.
We don't associate with this shade, but in actuality we don't like any of y'all. So keep that in mind.
Exactly.
So, and then I think it starts to trickle down.
Right.
To the point where now when I go amongst the other same people that are of my shade, if I've been over here conditioned by such and such with these traditions, I'm going to speak that same. I'm going to speak that.
Until you learn, because at that point you're somewhat ignorant to other people because you only been taught by that one
exactly
group. Okay.
And
I
then
understand.
you got the fair share people who will use that out of anger, who will say, okay, the slave master calls you this, so I'm gonna call you the same thing when I'm mad at you,
and I'm trying to hurt you.
And I'm
Right,
trying to
right,
hurt
right,
you.
right, right.
So you got their share of people who they're not ignorant to it. They know what they're doing,
Yeah.
but they're just evil people. So you got that as well.
Because they seen what it can do.
And then maybe they're going to use that for their own benefit. They're going to use that to whether make themselves feel better, whether make themselves appear at a higher ranking in front of the slave master, or whatever the case might have been.
Yeah.
But it's still, because come on, we know how black people get when we're around other black. We are so mean to each other.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the things that they would have said to each other, or
back then,
went out in the field and was like, oh, well, you know.
And that's a very interesting perspective, because I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I just know everything about slavery and it's, you know, but also we also have to take into consideration who wrote the stories, and that's a very good, like, when you did get around these people, how did you act? That you said
because
something there, girl.
I had been reading this book called The Four Agreements.
Okay.
And it had talked about the traditions and the values and the laws that we learned growing up. And then it talked about if them laws really worked for you or not. And if they didn't work, now you have to go back and unlearn all that.
You know, when you say that, that reminds me of how our Constitution was set up. Because, like, at one point in time, we weren't even considered people. So when who they intended it for was not us, you know? So it's like when people be like, oh, the system's broken. No, it's working the way it was designed because we were not in mind.
No.
So you own to something. I like that. Okay. But tell me about your book. Tell me about... Little break now.
Right. Okay. So what book?
The book you were just talking about.
Okay.
The Four Agreements.
Oh, yeah. That book. I was talking about that. Okay. So the Four Agreements. They were just talking about, and it's a really good book. You can get it from like Five Below or Amazon or something.
Okay.
But it's called The Four Agreements, and he really just wrote about how you're taught something, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work, but you're trying to figure it out because you're reading the book, obviously.
Right.
And then he continues to talk about what you can do to unlearn that stuff, how you can train your mind to think different, how you can think positive thoughts and manifest the things that you want right off of your mind, because you're so important, you're so energetic, your energy is so magnetic,
right,
that whatever you set your mind to, you can attract it.
Right.
And that was the book. I wish I could remember the agreements. I know one was be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personal.
That big on that. Okay.
Always do your best. And I forgot the fourth agreement. I'm gonna look it up. We're
gonna get that fourth agreement. It'll be in the description when
yeah.
I'm
gonna get that because it was a really good book, and the things that it had pointed out, the four agreements that it was like, okay, yeah, don't take nothing personal.
Right.
I guess that's everything in life. That's whatever would have made me mad, sad, whatever would have made you feel any type of emotion. Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal, because it can really shape you, especially when you find yourself always getting very overly emotional, because it's okay to be emotional, but when you have an abundance of emotion, then, you know, that's when it becomes an issue, and it starts to control you. So what initially attracted you to that book? What did you see in your life that you wanted to either change or attract?
I'm a very emotional person.
Same.
I'm very emotional, and I'm very hardworking. But sometimes I'm so hardworking that I won't reward myself. I'm so hardworking that I won't stop and pause and do anything. Like, I'm just so hardworking that I'm so lost in work. And so what I had to learn was you can take a break. You can have fun. Yeah. You know, it's totally okay to let your hair down. Like, because that's what my dad was a workaholic. He was a truck driver.
Yeah.
He's never home. He was working. And then my mom was similar, always working. And then so for me, it just became, I'm just gonna work. That's what people do. People go to work. And then it became, oh, I've got all this emotional trauma. Let me just go to work. Because I'm peaceful there. I'm focused on something. I'm doing something physically or mentally that's solely separating me from everything. So then A couple years ago, it became, okay, I'm working, I'm paying all my bills, I'm going to school, I'm running a business, I'm
Yeah.
doing everything, I'm checklist doing it.
Right.
But I've got so much emotion, I've got so much energy, I don't know how to channel it. Every time I talk to someone, they're like, well, you got a job, you got an apartment, you got a car,
You have all the things that
you got as far as we got.
Right.
So don't nobody really have no advice for you, because everyone's kind of in the same
Mm.
place. You got your car, your housing, your shelter, your food, your clothing. That was your basic necessity.
Right.
So anything beyond that is shooting for the stars.
Right.
To some people. So it became like, dang, where do I look? Where
What's
do I
next?
get advice? What do I do? I picked up a book. I picked up my holy book, the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like a guide that'll help you focus and help you build your relationship with God and build your relationship with yourself.
Right.
And then I picked up some self-help books, some self-care books that'll help you retrain your thinking. Books to the point where now I'm about to go to sleep, but I'm gonna read my book instead of my phone. You know, picking up those healthy habits to start doing better. And now I'll pick up a book before I text people back.
Well, that's good, because I think that some people don't, even though they get to that point where they done did everything that they could do, it's like they're content with it, or don't know that there's more to life than just go to work, get those necessities that you talked about. So that's really good that you, especially at our age, picked up on that, because sometimes people don't see that until later on. But especially with the influence of social media, the internet, and whatever, we do see like, oh, it's not just where we live. There's other places that we can get to.
It's so big out there.
Yeah.
And I always have to remind myself that just moving back in with my parents, going back to the drawing board, refiguring things out.
Yeah.
And I always have to remind myself, it's so much bigger than this little city that we're in.
Yes.
The world is so much bigger. Do not let your environment or you seeing those same friendly faces from school, don't get comfortable. Expand your wings until you perish.
We're going to talk about how colorism exists in communities of color aside from racism. All right. So, like I was saying, I don't see myself as a colorist. I do see that people who gives the opportunity does favor lighter skin.
I agree.
And I only say that because I have went through it, but at a younger age where I didn't even realize that it was happening. So I'm probably one of the lightest people in my family. Aside, I am black, okay. And I have darker skinned cousins. They range brown, dark, whatever. And we used to cheer together. I didn't realize that my coach, my Caucasian coach, was a little racist. I didn't realize that. It took for my mom to tell me, like, this is what was going on, whether you understood at the time, because I was in 4th grade, so
yeah,
I didn't know what was going on, but I did experience that. And you wouldn't even, like, when you think back on it, you're like, oh, that's why they was treating y'all like that, or that's why they would argue with y'all more. They just they tolerated me, but they just really didn't like y'all. And it's sad because of the fact that, like, that's my family still, and I don't see them as separate from me.
No.
So if you treat them bad, treat me bad.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I always saw it. And I never felt like I was better or anything, because I used to hate when people be like, oh, you act like a light skin. Especially coming from other black people, because it's like, why are you trying to still exclude me? And not, because we're all in this same 13% of America.
Yeah.
If you realize how small that is, compared to 100.
Right.
We're not even. We're not even. You're right. We're not even a quarter.
No.
So we're just. Well, I think we're pretty blessed in our situation to where we can be around more of our kind, especially living in Georgia, because it shows me more. It teaches me more, like, this is how your people see you, this is how you see you, and things of that nature. It definitely teaches you how you can't let, no matter if y'all are in the same group or not, you have to love yourself, because even your own people will make you slick, be like, dang, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I feel like in that situation, that could be said for both me, you, and a darker skinned
Oh yeah.
person.
Oh yeah.
Cause that's what they made it.
That's what it was.
They want us to bicker, fight, and do all the things to each other so they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They like, oh well, if we can make them hate each other, they'll kill them. You know what I'm saying?
That's the divide and conquer. That's what it is.
It's
They divide
literally
and conquer. That's exactly what they did.
It's psychological warfare.
It's and it's abuse. It's mental abuse, and I do feel like, see, I'm not a colorist myself,
Right.
but I've seen it enough to know that it's real.
Yeah, it exists. Right.
It definitely does exist, and there's people who do benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. There's been times where I've benefited from it, but it's been not in a way that's gonna step on another woman's toes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's never, I'm an option, she's an option, I know I'm an option, I know she's an option, and we're being chosen by a man, and I know he's gonna. It's never nothing like that. It's more pretty privilege.
Okay.
It's more so, I'm gonna use my looks to get some free headlights at AutoZone. You know, it's something like that. It's never me and another woman is in competition.
Right.
It's well, for me personally, but I have seen it to the point where it's like, why are you acting like that? The only color that matters is green. It's money.
You heard it.
It's dinero, the currency, and it's really something. It's really something, because it'll start with light skin and dark skin, and see, because I was
in the middle.
Yeah. See, I just kind of skated in depending on who I was with.
And you know what's even crazier? Okay, depending on the person, they might think you light skinned. They might think you brown skinned. They might think, like, it honestly depends. Like, I look at my mom and I'm like, Mom, you're a light skinned woman. You're not a brown skinned woman. She'll tell you 10 toes down, I am brown skinned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, Aaliyah's brown skin.
Mm-hmm.
You're lighter than Aaliyah. You're
Mm-hmm.
caramel.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother, I have no idea what you.
And then, so you also got to think about it, like, but in the wintertime,
Right.
everybody go up a few shades brighter.
Y'all know I do.
Everybody goes up a few shades brighter in the wintertime. And then in the summertime, everybody's got a tan.
Yeah.
And I feel like people definitely did use that to their advantage. You see it a lot in our community, a lot, whether it's just in girl world, whether it's in a family setting, because I was the lightest of all my brothers.
Right.
So they would crack the African jokes, you so dark, this, that, and
Yeah.
the other. But I'm like,
I don't relate.
I don't relate. And I think that's mean. You're being funny, but that's mean.
Right.
That's mean as well. And then when it did come to me, my hair was nappy. You know, then it stems to all these other, now you got body shaming, now you got all these other things,
all these other problems. Right.
that can stem right from colorism, right from me judging you and looking at you off of your appearance, and now I feel a type of way about you. I don't feel like you're worthy enough of this, or I like this shade better. And yeah, I do think people have benefited from it and used it to their advantage, and a lot of people still do.
You know, it's funny, or it's a great thing that you brought up your household. In my household, I have never experienced that. I've never seen because when I tell you, we are all shades. Like, y'all have seen my family before if you follow me. None of us are really the same color. And I've never heard you light skin this, you brown skin that. I've never. And I think that has something to do with how I was raised. I don't know, because I don't remember having these conversations of, don't talk about your sister like that. We argued about other stuff. We didn't argue about, oh, you so light skinned, or you get everything because you light skinned. We didn't experience that in my household.
For us, it wasn't. You wasn't getting no gifts.
What you mean?
Was broke.
Oh,
Yeah, you wouldn't get no gifts because you was light skinned, dark skinned, because mom didn't have no money regardless.
Right.
But when they would argue, oh yeah, you was absolutely an African booty scratcher.
You're crazy.
And it was absolutely a thing where my brothers would go out in the sun, and my mom would say they look purple when they came home because they would get so dark.
Right.
But the way my household is, my mom, I would say she's between light skin and brown skin.
Okay.
Depending on what time of the year it is. And my dad, he's more on the chocolate side.
Okay.
He's more on the darker side. and then my brothers favor my dad, and I kind of more so favor my mom. So there was that within itself. But we was also the boys versus the girls. So it really didn't do the damage that I seen it do on the outside. You know, it was other stuff. But that is a thing in a lot of households. The nappy hair, the you so dark, I can't go outside because I don't want to get darker.
Okay. That was me. I don't like outside because it hurt.
Well, see,
I know
that's different.
I know y'all
That's
probably
different.
heard me say that before, but for one, it hurt. It's hot. I get irritated. You don't want to see me when I get like that. I'm not pleasant at all. I can really 10 toes down say that. And honestly, like, but I used to wear long sleeves when I used to go outside. I kept socks on, all types of stuff. Like, it don't matter. But I've grown out of that this summer a little bit. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but like, that does exist because I do it. So I know exactly what you mean.
I'm the opposite way. I'll be outside till I burn. I will be outside.
Do you wear sunscreen?
I don't.
All right.
I'm going to be honest because that's what we're going to do on this podcast. We're going to be honest.
Yes.
I don't wear sunscreen. I mean, I might put a little bit of copper.
Okay. All right.
But, right. Come on, black girl sunscreen. Like, I need to catch up. I know.
It's just, I only say that because we still can get like skin cancer
and
and stuff.
Bathing suit floating
Girl.
on, ready to go in the water all day.
Our
turkey
melanin is
sandwich.
strong.
Yeah.
But baby, protect what we got.
Yeah, because I burned so bad this summer. But I had a ball. I had a ball.
I'm glad.
And yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Because even the hair topic, we all have different hair textures.
Yeah.
Like, but the way that we describe it, we don't say nappy.
No.
We don't be like, oh, you nappy headed.
Because
Like,
nappy is a slur.
you feel me?
It's not a hair texture. Your hair is coily. It's curly. Those
Yeah.
are curls. What is nappy?
Like my older brother, y'all probably wouldn't even believe it. His hair, like, say if it gets wet, it's straight. It doesn't curl. And it's like, you probably think, oh, he gotta relax or something. He ain't had to relax.
That's how my daughter's hair is.
Is it?
When her hair is wet, it's straight, and I can brush it, and it's straight. And then when it starts to dry, that's when it starts to coil up.
Oh, really?
But when it's wet,
See, it's like,
I think she has like 4B hair.
Okay.
Or 4C. I don't know. She don't have 4C because I have 4. I think that's the most coily.
yeah.
Yeah, she probably has 4B or 4A hair.
Okay.
Hers gets straight like that. But you can also condition your hair to do whatever you want it to do. I feel like nappy comes from being ignorant to what we can do with our hair.
Like lack of hydration.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother, but yeah, I definitely, yes. I know about
So
it.
you need some water on your head. Your head is dry. That's what's wrong.
Okay, so can you explain how colorism have impacted you socially, educationally, is that a word? And professionally?
Okay. So colorism for me, because I kind of fared in the middle.
Yeah.
I didn't have bad experiences. That didn't leave me blind to, what was going on. I was always a people's person, always full of love. I didn't care what color people was, and I didn't associate a lot with people who thought like that.
Right.
Because I felt like that was wrong, and it would rub off on me. Because I felt like if you're sitting around a group of people and they always like, oh, she thinks she better because she light skinned, eventually that goes into conditioning your mind, and
Yeah.
hearing that stuff over and over and over
You're going to
again,
believe it.
you're going to start believing it. You're going to start talking about people the exact same way.
Yeah.
And it's only going to have that same domino effect because you can still be influenced to this day, So for me and my personal experiences, it was good. Especially like growing up in middle school, because I was brown skinned, I didn't get the, oh, she's darker than everyone.
Yeah.
But then I also didn't get the, we're going to pick her because she's light skinned. So I kind of just floated my way on through. I had different problems because I was Muslim. They thought I was going to blow the school up. So they didn't care what color I was.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to talk about that another day.
Another day. Bless your heart.
Yeah, I had different problems.
That is, oh my God. And that's the thing. Like, even in our educational system, how you're crazy. Stop it. She's not gonna do any of that.
No, because I live here.
Like literally, like
No.
the thing about our educational system is that they touch on religion, okay, but y'all don't get into the nitty gritty the way things are supposed to be. And I don't like how it's skated across as if it's just like another lackadaisical concept. Like, if you want your children to flourish, y'all need to get deeper into these instead of having like what do they call standards in teaching. I feel like there should be free thinking classes or courses that you maybe have the option to do, because I know some people, maybe they like the structure of standardized tests and things of that nature, but some people actually like to go outside of that and be like, well, I actually do have a mind,
right,
I actually have an opinion, and I would like to share that, or I actually live this life. Because, like, you know, growing up, I was Christian, and then as I got older, I shifted more so towards just a spiritual being instead. So I feel like, because even if you didn't tell me that, like, I still see you as a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, you're human.
Yeah, like I operate, like you said, you operate out of love. I operate out of love. Like, I don't pick people based on, oh, how she look, do she do this, do she do that. I'm like, are you a good person? Do our energies attract to each other? Because if they didn't, I couldn't be around you, because I know automatically I get irritated.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, and I don't want to talk. I don't have nothing to say.
Nothing.
Around people that I don't vibe with, people that I don't like their energy. And even if you're nice to me, how you treat other people, that'll almost determine our relationship more than it will for how you treat me. How you treat other people, if you hold the door open for people behind you. If somebody drops something on the floor and don't see it, are you going to pick it up? If you see somebody drop some money, are you going to give it back? Are you going to
Are you honest?
Little things like that are going to let me know if I like you as a person, if I want to be around you, if I want to associate with you, or if it's just as simple, you know what, you're a human, I'm a human, I'm not going to judge you.
Right.
But there's no reason for our energies to intertwine.
I'm gonna pick up on that, because we are gonna talk about dating a little bit later on in our episode. But when I am being courted by a man and we go to a restaurant, that is one thing that I look at. Because how are you finna talk to her? How you finna act? How you finna treat me? Like, it all in that one interaction where people just think that, oh, I'm spending money on a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than you taking me out and you thinking that it's a free meal. I don't like that people just so small-minded that they don't see the bigger opportunity in dating.
The world has really shrunk. From the time that I've been out of a relationship to the time that I've healed a little bit to the time that I've been like, okay, I don't want to date right now, but I can go out and socialize with other people. This whole, a man feels like he got to spend some money, and now they're pissed out the gate. They're like, hi, my name is such and such, don't ask me for a penny because I ain't got it. And I'm like,
relax, I wasn't. I have
got 2 pennies, so
relax, I have it.
No, I don't even want to associate with you. Like,
not because now you giving broke boy, and I wasn't even asking for nothing.
And now you're so entwined with social media that your beliefs have become
theirs,
something totally crazy.
Yeah,
that I don't even believe in. Like, I had talked
crazy.
to this one man, and he said he was an alpha male. I said, describe an alpha male.
Thank you, that part. What do you see it as?
What is an alpha male?
And
then he described it. He said he was a leader, a provider, you know, all the things a man should be.
So he was very much bland in his answer.
He
It
was
wasn't.
very much
It was. It sounded like you Googled this before you talked to me. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying that you don't have those beliefs. But baby, be for real. Like, if you're gonna be anything, be honest. And tell me, how does being an alpha man intertwine with your life? How do you express that? What have you done? Because anybody can say they're a leader. How do you show that? Like, what do you do?
What do you do? And honestly, a lot of stand-up men are not calling themselves alpha men.
If you gotta say it, you probably not.
You're probably not.
It's just it's literally we've seen that and been through that so many times. Oh, I'm that dude. Are you? How? Because a woman can feel if you that dude. You don't have to say it because we know.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's cool. Okie dokie. We are entering the media and representation tab of this interview. we're going to talk about the portrayal of brown skinned women in the media, like TV, film, and social media. So, who are those people that you see and how are they perceived?
Um, I would say the biggest thing that kind of stuck out to me, aside from modeling, you saw it a lot in the modeling industry. Back when you had like America's Next Top Model and
Okay.
different things like that, before the black girl magic trend became a thing. It wasn't cool to be a black woman, all like that.
Right.
You know, it was cool to be a black woman, but you had to be a amazing ass woman. You had to be super tall. You had to be super slim. Your cheekbones had to be, you know what I mean? So that's
Chiseled.
kind of where I used to see it, more so in the modeling industry. And then when I kind of started paying attention to the entertainment industry, then you kind of see women when they get on the cover of magazines. Now they look really bright.
Right.
And then you start to see women who were our shade at a certain time and they just get lighter and lighter. And then you have women who would bleach themselves,
Right.
and things like that. And then what really started to stick out to me was female rappers, for example. There's a lot of female rappers who are very talented,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have the same light,
Push. Like that
same push as other light-skinned rappers.
Like, Amaretta.
Yep.
I love her.
That's who I was going to say.
Oh, right.
That's
wow.
exactly who I was
okay.
going to say, actually.
Wow.
Mhm. Because she's really good.
She's
She's really talented. She's always
and
had
she's
the
so
look.
pretty.
She's
So
so pretty. Like, oh my gosh. But what's going on?
Cause there should honestly, like, and this is no shade, this is just how I feel. I don't like Ice Spice. I don't like her music. But you get pushed so hard.
Mhm.
And is it because you're light skinned? Or is it the people that you know? I don't know.
could be
But
both.
whatever it is, I don't like it.
It
Like,
could be both. Because even if herself personally is not saying, oh, I'm light skinned, I'm going to get this opportunity, she's benefiting from it.
right.
So that makes you just as bad as the people around you, because the people around you, they believe it.
Now that's what I was talking about earlier. The
Mhm.
people who actually hold the control in our environment.
Mhm.
Because aside from our people, we have the people who conditioned us, essentially. And now that they have that money, that power, that say so, they have the opportunity to do that and, how you say, reinforce that stigma, I guess you could say, and making you believe, like, you see it, you should get mad. You should get mad. Now, I'm not mad at Ice Spice, but I also don't like your music. I mean, it's not for me, and that's what I would say. Because, you get your bag how you get your bag. I'm not hating on anybody's grind. It's more so just like the quality of music or soundscape is not there for me.
That's how I feel about Mulatto.
Okay.
Because first, it was I'm going to change my name.
Okay, because
she was mulatto,
yeah,
which was a slur that was I think the light skin women, and then she changed it for acceptance.
Now let me ask you, with that, if I'm not mistaken, is it because she was mixed why they called them mulattoes, right?
You said what?
I see. I said, like, I'm not really sure all the way about what mulatto come from, but is it because she's mixed? Because I know her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it became Lotto, like, she's pushed, but I don't think she's better than Amaretta.
Okay.
I don't think she's better than Flo Milli.
Okay.
And I feel like if they got the same push that she would get, then it would be different. Now, she can rap, don't get me wrong, she is talented, but I feel like she's not as talented as other artists.
Yeah, I know.
A darker complexion.
Okay. And okay. I know Flo Milli, her tagline, but I haven't listened to her personally, so I can't really comment on that. But I also don't really listen to rap. to be honest, I'm more of an R&B girl, and the people that I see in R&B, I see Money Long. That's who I'm on real bad right now.
Oh yeah. But R&B has, well, for me, from what I thought, R&B was always inclusive as long as you had the vocals.
Okay.
As long as you had the vocals, the pain, the blues, you was good because
Okay.
Mariah Carey can holler, but Jennifer Hudson can sing her
Do
behind
you
off.
see? Okay, so you see Mariah Carey as an R&B. Uh,
I, s-
you see where I'm
I see
coming from
her
though?
as an R&B, but I think she's generalized as like pop.
Pop, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that because like, yeah, she you
Yeah.
know, she do that. But when I think R&B, I'm thinking Beyonce, I'm thinking Keisha Cole, I'm thinking Monica, I'm thinking not Sierra. Sierra's more dance music. Like,
I would put Sierra over there with pop.
yeah, you're right.
Don't
Okay,
put her over there
that's what
with
that
pop.
is. I said dance music.
See, yeah. Right, because that's what she be doing.
Yeah, so when I think of things like that, like I think Tank. I think, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's who I think of.
Because it's the R&B. But in a sense, though, I feel like pop is a general. It's like an umbrella term.
Okay, so when you think of Michael Jackson, who you like? What you think? Because I know they label him King of Pop.
He's a superstar. He's a superstar.
Okay, fair.
Prince. He's a superstar.
Okay.
Because I feel like pop is just what, popular?
Is that what that stands for?
Yes.
You're lying. I'm gonna have to fact check you because I did not know that.
From the few people that I've talked to in the industry, pop is popular. It's the popular person.
When I think of pop, bro, I used to think
Like
Ariana Grande, Megan Trainor, Taylor Swift. Like that's who I think of when I think pop music.
Then, why?
Because they say they pop stars. I don't know why. That's what they be
popular.
Oh,
They're popular stars.
I didn't know.
Because think about the names that you said.
I mean, yeah, they hot, but
And they're popular across all they're popular across all genres. Because sometimes they be rapping, sometimes they be singing.
Okay, now when I categorize like an artist for their genre or whatever, I'm gonna take one of my most favorite right now, Chris Brown. Okay, so originally, yes, you were a R&B singer. Cool, that's what people know you for. But if people listen to his catalog, they will see so much more because it's extensive. But you would, and that's, I think that's why I kind of left him out of that R&B section because I see him as an artist more so because you don't have one genre that you stick to.
No.
And
he might come out rapping,
singing, dancing. Like you have what's it called, EDM. You have African beat music. You have like
his range is so wide.
It's so much. It's overwhelming me. But but okay, all right. Anyways, how has the beauty standards traditionally favored lighter skin tones, and how do they affect self-esteem?
The sunscreen.
Okay.
I'll put sunscreen on, but I don't want to go out looking like a pale.
They have different types.
Now,
yeah.
And see? Now, foundation.
Okay.
It was so hard to find you would have had to mix
Yeah.
a lighter foundation and a darker foundation to get that shade of brown. Or you got to layer up a bunch of concealer, use your undertones to really get that good in there. Nails were kind of universal, so they didn't really play a part until it became darker women didn't want to get certain colors on their feet. And it's like, come on, why?
You know, it's so crazy. Like the people that I know in real life, like of darker complexions, rock the hell out of colors. Like period.
You look vibrant and amazing.
I think it looks good against their complexion.
All
personally,
colors, they look great. So that became a thing. Tattoos. Some people don't get color because is the color gonna show on my dark skin?
Or does your tattoo artist know color theory? That's what it boils down to for a lot of people's skin. Because like now, to be honest, for the darker people, it might be a little challenging.
It might. It definitely might.
I mean, let's be honest. But if you are of brown complexions and things of that nature, if you have a good color theory artist, you will be fine.
You can make it work.
Yes, because I've seen it.
You can make it work. And you can even communicate in a way, okay, this color might not show to the extent that you want it, but maybe if we do this and this.
Yeah, add the white highlights, add this, add that.
Then we'll get to working with something there. So you see a lot of beauty standards were solely based off of lighter skinned women or white women
Okay.
or women with who had the most money, the hierarchy.
I about to say, because when I was younger, I related more so towards having the straighter hair. Like, you know, we all, as little girls, we did have perms and everything. I wanted my hair to be bone straight. And I didn't even know my true texture till I got older, and I wanted to get micro twist. And I was like, well, my hair is too straight. It's gonna slip out. But come to find out, my hair just it's too soft. So like those hairstyles don't last in my head. That's why I honestly don't get them. And plus a lot of the times, I don't know if I'm allergic or anything, but or if they're too tight, but my scalp, oh boy.
Oh, that happens too.
It's terrible. But
that happens too.
I remember distinctively in 4th grade. It was a young lady in my class, and she was Caucasian, and she always used to have her hair in a ponytail. So when she used to go up the stairs, her hair just go like that. And I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my thing, because aside from not seeing a lot of young girls when we were growing up with their natural hair, like there were anomalies. Like, you didn't see that.
No.
You saw. You got your silk press, or you went to the Dominicans, or you got your relaxer. Like, that's what we saw. So it was like, texture. What are you talking about?
And see, on my end, it was nothing but braids.
Right.
It was braids all the way down, because there was no, to our knowledge, we were just ignorant to it. It was probably out there, or even if it was out of our price range. But there were no flat irons that would have got your hair straight unless you went to the Dominicans.
Right.
And then we found out that they was putting a little relaxer in the
I
shampoo.
heard about that. That's true then.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I heard about that.
And then it wasn't until we got a little, I want to say maybe 9th grade for me and my peers, as far as learning how to really do a silk press. How to really go back and blow dry the hair and get it straight, and then go in with your flat iron. You know, our mama was just on the stove with hot comb. Just,
you know what's crazy though? I didn't go through that.
Really?
My hair is not like it. It doesn't need all that.
Wow.
Like, it don't. Like, I'm gonna show you later, but
yeah,
I've seen my cousins get it. But my hair's not like that. You put that to my hair, it probably might fall out, because my hair it's very fragile.
It's very soft. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
and then so the flat irons and stuff wouldn't work.
Yeah.
We had to get the hot shit to get it. The iron. We ironing our hair to get it that straight.
Bless y'all
And
heart.
then we kind of really didn't have a choice but to fall in love with our hair.
Yeah.
Because there was no product on the market that would truly help our hair the way we needed to. Whether it wasn't getting absorbed good enough, whether it had alcohol, dyes, all that other stuff in it. It's just heavy. It's sold by a company of people who don't like us. Like, whatever it was, we didn't really start getting good hair care products until recently.
Right.
And that's if you've got the money to test out different products to really see what works for your hair.
True say.
But
it's expensive.
Yes, it's so expensive. But yeah, I definitely think colorism, I think a lot of beauty standards was based off of colorism, based off of what women thought men wanted to see. And even pigments that were available. A lot of beauty products and makeup and stuff came just from the berries and stuff off the tree.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, red berries, that's why we got red lipstick. So it just
that makes sense.
became a thing.
That makes
so
much sense.
But didn't nobody go back and say, let me make a wide variety of reds so that you being this dark with this hot fire red lipstick on don't look.
I will say, because I know as of now we do have more of a variety of colors, like you was talking about with the foundation. Because I also had a guest on with albinism, and she talked about that as well. And now that she, like, Fancy Beauty and everything, I want to say she also pointed out Maybelline, if I'm not
Maybelline
mistaken.
Is great. Yep.
So now that she even if she, like, back in the day before they upgraded, even the lightest color that they had wasn't her color, because she lacks pigment.
Yeah.
You know? And I do feel like that was a step in the right direction for a lot, because you do have darker than dark, and you do have whiter than white. Like,
Yeah.
they do exist, and I feel like, especially being a woman, we do. I love doing this. To me,
Yeah.
I love doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this give me a a little.
Yeah,
You
a
feel
little
me?
thrill.
You feel
Yeah.
me? So I feel like for them to do that and make everybody feel included was a good step in the right direction.
Yes, inclusion is great
Yeah.
because we're human. We all have different shades within ourselves. We're all colored. So, because once you see people's veins and you all types of colors.
Oh, please. I hear it all the time. People, blue, green veins.
You're all
What do you?
types of colors. And if you do have those people that's like, blue, what you talking about?
Right.
You don't know yourself. You haven't stripped down naked and massaged yourself and loved yourself enough because you would know that your veins is a different color. Or when you bruise, you might go from green to blue to purple.
Yeah.
You might be anything. And even if you're white, sometimes you're red, depending on how you're feeling. So everybody...
I be trying to tell people, black people get red too. Y'all might not see it, but
black people
I
get
can
red.
see. I can see it.
And you know what? One hill I will die on is we're not black.
Okay, what are we?
We're brown.
All right.
We are different shades of brown because this table is black.
It is.
My jacket is...
You funny.
This is black.
But that's the crazy part though. We are, what would they say? Derivatives of. I would say derivatives of black.
Mm-hmm.
Because am I mistaken? I mix this up all the time. Is all the colors mixed in black? We're derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you get from this? What can you get from that? If you break it down, you can get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, white people, I mean, from what I've heard, it's a mutation. That's what I heard. Now, how did they overlap? Like, that's an interesting concept too. Like, I know in America, obviously they're the majority, but like in the world, who is the true majority, and like how is that breakdown?
Well, I feel like when you go to like the Middle East and stuff, everybody kind of the same shade.
You would think that. I had a comment, and I only say this because I remember when I was in college, I met a South Asian Indian woman, and she was talking like what did she tell me? I talked about colorism before last season. Y'all go check it out. In abundance, okay. But she talked about how her shade was like too dark, and she was not that far from me. She was lighter than you, darker than me, but she was just like, yeah, I'm not accepted in my community because of that. And I'm like, wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Because I was very genuinely curious. I'm like, you're not dark.
Exactly, and they don't be dark. But if we go over there, they don't like us.
Or they want to take pictures of you.
Or you're something that they've never seen before.
Extraterrestrial, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that as well. I just find that very interesting.
It is. And I think that just goes down to we're all human.
Yeah.
It don't matter where you're from. It don't matter what culture you are. As long as somebody has the belief that a lighter shade is better.
It's just ridiculous because that doesn't exude your skill set or your mindset or how you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. I don't know. That part just doesn't matter to me. But I also want to bring awareness to that this is an issue and it needs to really stop, because as long as especially people in our community keeps letting it happen, it will keep happening because we are just that powerful.
Same problem.
You can use your powers for good. You can use your powers for evil. And I feel like this is an evil concept that we need to let go of. If one of us win, we need to be happy that we won.
Absolutely.
Because it's very daunting sometimes to be a part of something that doesn't want you really there. You know what I'm saying? And that could be the split. And it's ridiculous, to be honest. But even speaking on that split, do you see, like in recent days, like, do you see the representation for brown-skinned women in media changing, or like do you feel like it's stagnant? Like, how do you feel about that? Excuse me, sorry.
I feel like it's changing because we're the generations that's forcing it to change.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's one thing about your social media is social media is a big thing.
Yes.
You can make your page private.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow whomever you want to follow.
You can block, you can
You can
remove,
block,
because I
you
do
can
it on
remove.
the daily.
My social media is predominantly people that look like me.
Right.
So my representation is there.
Right.
And I don't really watch TV like that.
Okay.
So I can't really say if we're seeing more representation on TV than we've did before. Because I think a lot of people have switched to like streaming channels and things of that nature, movies and stuff like that. But I do feel like we're not as overlooked.
Well, that's good.
I
I'm glad.
can say that. I say that there's a lot of more black actors auditioning for roles and getting them now. You know,
Right.
it's a lot more black politicians. It's a lot more black models, and when you're seeing different commercials, you might be seeing black people. Now you might not see black people represented the way you want them to just yet.
Okay.
You might see a commercial and it's a family-oriented commercial, but it's only one parent and the child. Or you might see the model and she's got a specific body type that don't nobody have. Or, you know, you might see certain...
But she's there.
But she's there.
Right.
So I feel like we are moving a step forward because we are no longer standing for that anymore. Lack of representation, we're not standing for it anymore.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I wanted to add that we are also making strides to make these pieces of content ourselves. So instead of letting someone of a higher power determine if we are worthy enough, we're putting it into our own hands and letting us decide, like, do you want to be seen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How do you want your movie to look? How do you want your music track to sound? Like, we're taking that control and we're making it our own, and I think that is that's progress.
Yeah, I think we're making progress. I think a lot of people are becoming more hip to what's going on, and a lot of people are like, no, we want to see us more. We want to see all of us. We want to see different shades of us. We don't want to just see the lighter skin shades taking up all the camera time. We want to see a variety of stuff, you know, and we don't want to just see the petite women or the hourglass women. We want to see all body types.
Yeah.
We want to see
it don't
all
matter.
hair types.
As long as they can do what need, if they can get the job done,
they're doing. As long as they can do it to the 10 out of 10 that we're looking for.
Yeah,
we're not. But I noticed that we are going to point out if it's lack of representation, because where are we
now? Okay, with that though, there even with because Disney was making these quote unquote strides in putting black actors into their movies when the original characters were Caucasian. Now there's blow on both sides of that, because it's like, why are you changing the character instead of just making a new character look like? I mean, why can't you give this person their own story? Then you have some people that are like, oh, I'm so glad that Tinkerbell is black and Ariel is black and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, me personally, I ain't seen neither one of the movies, because, I mean, I didn't grow up on Little Mermaid. I was a Bratz girl. We already had representation in the things that I was watching. Right. So
my mom would buy me the black Barbie doll.
You feel like, but with my mom, she bought me, I just like Bratz. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted the doll. I didn't care. Right. I didn't care how the doll looked. I didn't care about none of that. I just wanted, if I got Jade, Sasha, Chloe, and Yasmin, hey, we
out.
We cool. Like, and that's how I saw it. But it's like, I didn't, even growing up, I wasn't a princess girl. I felt like maybe they needed too much saving for me, and I didn't really care about that. I cared about people who made strides. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So now we're going to talk about dating in a colorist or colorism type situation. How How has colorism showed up in romantic relationships and dating preferences? Has that ever happened to you?
It's never happened to me personally. I usually steer away from men that are like, I want light skinned babies. I want my baby to have good hair,
Right.
stuff like that, because that just lets me know that you're not culturally in tune. You're not in tune with yourself. You're not in tune with your mom.
Right.
You're just not in tune with your sisters, your family. Like you're just not in
Your
tune because
culture.
yeah, like you're just not in tune. I have seen people experience that though, where the lighter skin usually got picked because they were foreseen as the ones with the good hair and the good skin, the baby with the pretty eyes that
Yeah.
would come out, you know, things like that. So I do think it's there. I think a lot of people base their a lot of people look at certain qualities and they date for those qualities to try to get, like how some people only go for strong men or tall men because they want their children to be tall. Or I had this one guy, he was like, oh, you're so tall, we would have tall babies. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know you, I wouldn't have a baby with you at all. So what are you talking about?
Let me cover up.
Oh my god, leave me alone, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
But there are people, you know, that do date for those certain qualities and they do experience things like that. And I feel like it would be very hard on people and it would cause a lot of self-doubt because now you're probably wondering why you don't look like that. Or now you're probably like, okay, well, I'm never picked. What can I do to get myself picked? What can I do to attract? Now you're going to change things about yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to want to look like that person who was of the lighter shade. But then that gets into, you don't know what the hell people go through.
Yeah. Because
You don't know what
literally, when I tell you, most of the time, I was not picked.
And there are probably some women that'll argue you down, like, yeah, no, you're light skinned, you would get picked. Like, no, it's not. It's not that.
It's not as simple, or yeah, it's just not as simple as people think.
It's not that. And then it goes into being lusted over.
That
like, you
yes.
don't even really like me, for real. You
Right.
just like my physical appearance, or you like what qualities you could probably get out of me if that was given the opportunity, but you don't
like
see,
me.
Yeah, you don't see anything else. Like, if I was darker, you wouldn't see me.
If I had a bigger apparatus, you would I would probably get picked because I've seen it.
Sometimes I'll take my wig off and send you a picture with just my hair braided and it look like I'm bald head. Just because I want to see your response. I want to see if you're still going to text me the same.
Right.
I'm going to fake text you, oh, I cut all my hair off, do you like it? And I just want to see if you're going to block me.
Yeah, like, how are you?
How are you going to respond? So does that mean that you only like your woman when she has hair?
Right.
Or you only like her when she looks a certain way? You only like her in the summertime when she's a certain complexion, or in the wintertime when she's not as dark, like, you know. So I think it happens to a lot of people. Me personally, I don't really get affected by it because I try not to attract that. I try, when I look at people of interest like that, I try to attract the people that I would want. And I wouldn't want nobody like that. So I don't even look that way. But I've heard it a lot, even by like family members. They'll be like, "Oh, I want a light skinned baby." I'll be like,
really?
I'm judging you. I'm sorry, Lord, forgive me, but I'm judging you because it's 2024.
Being black is more than that. Like, and it's crazy because, like we said earlier, we have the Eve gene. So just because you're picking this man because he has hazel eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, and the brightest of bright skin, that does not, your baby could come out dark as this table.
Your baby could come out any color, any complexion, anything.
Yeah. Any type of features. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to choose somebody based off of that. Like, no, now don't get me wrong when I say this. Yes, looks matter, and that's, personally, they matter. I have to be able to look at you and be like, yes, you are a handsome man. If I don't tell you that you handsome sometime, or something is wrong. So what advice do you have for young women that experience colorism?
Stay true to yourself. Love yourself. You are enough. My auntie, she used to tell me to go look in the mirror and tell yourself you're the prettiest girl in the world. And go do that. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself you're the prettiest girl in the world. Because all of that is just, it goes back to conditioning your mind.
Right.
If you condition your mind to think, when I walk in the room, heads are going to turn.
Yeah.
I am the most beautiful. eventually you're going to start to feel like that. You're going to start to carry yourself like that.
And people going to feel that.
People are going to feel that.
They will.
And then you're going to attract men who also see you for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to start within yourself.
I just want to let y'all know that the few takeaways is that love your people, love yourself, stay true to yourself. I'm Taisha, this is Aaliyah, and we promise we won't bite our tongue. We hope to see an abundance of you on our next episode. Peace, love, and rubber gloves. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Jesus Christ.